Technique number 15 in the Kenpo Karate for Christ Purple Belt curriculum is knee lift. Last level in orange, we had a technique for a bear hug with your arms pinned from the front, and it was called thrusting prongs. And I told you then that we were going to have a technique later that asks the question, well, what if thrusting prong doesn't work? The steps you go through aren't able to break their hold, right? Thrusting prongs assumes you're able to establish some distance right at the beginning. Well, if your initial move doesn't create the distance you need to, how can you still break out of this hold? You just got somebody who's more determined to hold you in that bear hug, and they're just stronger. And or maybe when you thrust down with that thumb fist, because it starts the same way that thrusting prongs does, you don't quite hit it to where it's creating that reaction that you need. So this technique's called knee lift, and timing on it's slightly different this time. But they've got you in the bear hug, your arms are pinned, and bear hug from the front, so the opponent's in front of you. And we try and make distance the same way we did with thrusting prongs. Again, I use that thumb fist, that straight thumb fist, thumbs on the top. I can thrust that way and thrust pretty hard. And I'm trying to hit into the top of the hips, down on a 45 as I step back. But they've got you tight. So this isn't quite making the space, or isn't going to quite make the space. So as you do that and you feel they're still tight, you're not getting much of a thrust here. As I step back, I'm also going to drop my head in that way. So it's thrusting prongs first step, but we're adding a headbutt in the process. Thrusting forward with your forehead into their nose, into their face, as you thrust down then. They're still holding pretty tight, so I come up to hook here, and I'm coming back with this chamber, but it's still not breaking their hold here. Whereas in thrusting prongs, we had enough space from the beginning that I could both bring my knee up and chamber at the same time. This time again, they're just holding too tight. So I thrust and this headbutt happens because we're a lot closer. We need close range weapons. And then I'm going to wrap, and I do the elbow first to try and break his hold, and that still doesn't work. Now, hopefully I've made enough space, though, that I can raise my knee up. They've got you in this tight bear hug. They're not letting go. The danger level's a little bit higher, so your targets change, too, with that knee. We're not being nice, trying to catch them in the abdomen or anything like that, or the leg. We're going to go right between the legs. So your knee comes up between their legs, boom, knee right to the groin in that process. And we're going to step forward as we do it. Even if they're still holding. Now, after that, even if they're holding on, they should at least be a little bit looser. They don't like having you that close, because if you can knee them once, you can knee them again, you can knee them again, the knees could just keep coming, and they're not going to like that. So one should be enough that they're going to allow at least a little bit more room there. If not completely in the technique, they'll break their hold and fall down, holding themselves in pain. If that's what happens, great. That's where the technique gets its name, knee lift. We're assuming, boom, that's the weapon that really makes it happen. But we're going to follow up right after that knee as we plant forward here, hoping that we've created enough space in their arms to slip the right arm in. And it's going to hook up, doing an uppercut to the chin. Of course, if you just need them in the groin, they're kind of bending forward anyway. They're leaning right into that. As that hook comes up, catches them right under the chin. All that together is knee lift. They've got you in a bind and it's tight. This first move's not breaking it very well. We add a headbutt to it. We're going to come up and wrap. And we make that step too. We're too close to be able to hit them in a nice target with the knee. So this goes between the legs. As we plant forward, there's a hooking uppercut right underneath the chin. All that together should break their hold, get you out of it, and then from there we assume you can make a escape with your full cover out straight back to 6 o'clock. So, of course, we'll ask the question, well, what if that still wasn't enough when we come back and look at the extensions? But for now, and for appropriate for purple belt, that should be perfectly acceptable level of force to get you out of a really tight front bear hug. So again, one more time, all that together, knee lift, driving back, hook and chamber, drive back with a headbutt, hook and chamber, an elbow to break their grip and follow with that knee, uppercut to the chin, full cover out. One more time, knee lift.